a man make mistakes? Is he eligible for redemption? Will it really hurt your spirit to make this one exception? If I did you wrong, am I wrong for doing you wrong? If we get back on and make a promise to get along, would you take me back? My bad, I'm back. Would you take me back? My bad, I'm back.
Yo, what's good to the Big D? Jumping on here. Really a part two, because I already recorded another video just before this one. But I felt like it was getting a little bit long. So I was like, well, let me do these other ones on a separate video for you guys or whatever. But how everybody doing? Everybody's doing good? Hopefully everybody's doing all right. So we're going to jump in here and talk about some things today, get some ideas, find out how we're going to navigate this situation, the Big D, that comes up in so many of our lives. For those of us who have not yet experienced it, this might be eye-opening for you. So this is for you as well. You're definitely welcome here. It's not just for people who are going through it or have gone through it recently. This is for all of us as men to kind of get some information and open our minds a little bit so that we are not caught up in the situation and we don't get put in a situation that we're totally unprepared for. I think the dialogue needs to be there so that we kind of prepared to kind of rock and bob and weave when the time comes. All right. So let's see what we got going on here. We're in the divorce Reddit. It says a wife has checked out. So homeboy says his wife has checked out. Let's see what he's talking about, Mr. Super Mario here. We've been together and best friends for 15 years, married for 7. She dropped the bombshell 3 weeks ago that she wasn't happy and wanted to separate. It took me by surprise because I thought everything was great. I've supported her so much over the last few years through a number of personal issues, and she essentially said, "Thanks, I'm okay now, so I don't need your support." I think she was surprised by my reaction, surprised about how much I actually loved her and how much I am prepared to fight for us. She came around to the idea of trying to fix things, but I'm getting the impression she's just biding her time so that she can say that we did try. Every interaction I have with her leaves me wanting more, as it feels like she's deliberately holding back. It's absolutely destroying me. So, this happens, right? They've been best friends for 15 years, right? You've been around this person for 15 years of your life. I was married for 15, so I get it. You would think that you would just draw closer together. You know, you would think that you would be so much like each other. You understand what the other person wants or what they like, and you think that things get smoother as time goes on because you know now how not to step on her toes, and she knows how not to step on your toes. And if you do, then you know how to like communicate and fix the situation, right? But it don't always go like that. Some people kind of get tired of the other person and they might be looking around, especially in this internet age and Instagram and Tinder and all this other stuff that's out here. We have access to other people now, right? We have a lot of access into their lives. We look and we see the best of their lives, right? On Instagram, nobody's really putting on there when they crash and burn. They putting on there when they up and they popping bottles, So, they partying and popping bottles and traveling and doing all this stuff. That's what they put on the Instagram, right? I'm guilty of it. I put it on my Brazil living channel. It's hot down here, so so it's fun. So I put the fun stuff on there, but I'm not putting all the stuff like sometimes the trials that you might go through. Like when I was sick a few weeks ago or whatever, it's not really on there, right? Because that's not what really people want to see, right? They want to see the fun and the carnival and all that stuff that we just got done with. They want to see all that stuff. But yeah, man, sometimes it goes like that or whatever. 15 years in, they got married, 7 years of marriage, and they talk about the 7-year itch, right? She got it, So, he said it came out of the blue. Like she said, he dropped the bombshell 3 weeks ago. He's not happy. So that tells me whenever I hear that after a woman has been with a guy for a long time, whatever, and she's not happy, it tells me she's got eyes somewhere else. That's just pretty much my instinct. I think you almost should default to that. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments if you think that's reasonable or not. But with the way things are set up right now, I feel like you gotta kind of default to that. Like she's probably doing something or seen something, and she thinks there might be an opportunity, that might be a little bit better, and so she's gonna go check that out and try that out. Sometimes they just don't want to be bothered with somebody, whatever. Depends on what the age is or whatever. They don't really say what their ages are or whatever. But sometimes you get a little bit ornery and stuff like that as you get older or whatever. It's just like, look, man, I'm tired of you. I'm tired of just being around people to begin with, or something. But generally, it's because there's somebody else or something else involved. Maybe she's going to the gym and the trainer is young and fit and hot, and he's all up on her while she's exercising or whatever, and she feeling hot and bothered behind it, and maybe she don't want to hurt you, so she figures she'll get out of the relationship that she's in currently to kind of pursue the other relationship. And so that's why they kind of come at you with that. And it's probably been a long time brewing. You probably didn't see it coming, or this dude ain't probably see it coming, but it's probably been there for a minute. They don't normally typically do that super quickly. They've been thinking about it. So I know in my situation, I feel like when I first recognized like there's really some problems there, it probably had to be at least a year and a half, 2 years before we even separated. So it's like I could notice, looking back, I would notice little things or whatever, or certain things won't look right, and you'll kind of attribute it to like, oh, okay, yeah, this ain't quite right or whatever, but we've had some issues here and there, so I'm gonna let it go. Maybe it's something that blows over, maybe it's something we fix or whatever. It never seemed like it was anything great and extreme where it's like, oh, yeah, I know for sure that this is how this is going down. I know for sure this ain't good. Never was that until the end. So it always kind of comes out of the blue. So he says he supported her a lot over the years. She's gone through some issues and things like that. And so he's basically feeling like she didn't appreciate the effort that he went through. That's going to be typical. I think that's a human thing more so than even just a woman thing. I think people, when they need you, of course, they need you. And so you're the crutch to kind of like lean against or whatever, and they're going to utilize that crutch until they don't need it anymore, and then you find out what they really feel like. So, but even during that time, maybe that's something we should think about as men. This channel's not just for men, but women too, is like, when you're going through those situations, or a person, your significant other, is going through those situations, how are they really treating you? Yeah, they're the one with the issue at that point. They need a little more love. They need a little bit more care. They need a little bit more compassion, empathy for the situation that they're going through. But are they mean to you? Do they look for little ways to kind of say thank you or to give back, or are they actually verbally saying thank you? How are they treating you? How, are they distant from you? Do you really feel comfort in that relationship? It shouldn't feel difficult. You should feel comfortable even when you're the one giving support. And I think a lot of times we end up giving so much, and we end up empathizing so much, and we end up being so compassionate with a person that we miss those signs of them, like they're just taking this in because they need you, type thing. I think we miss that sometimes. So that's something that you got to watch for. And so he says that he thinks she was surprised by his reaction. I don't know that she would be surprised. If the relationship seemed like it was going well, she knows that you love her and all that kind of stuff, and you've been treating her well. You've been treating her like you want to stay with her. You can tell, women can tell how you're investing in her, how you're treating her. It sounds like you were taking care of her and, letting her get through her issues and things like that. So I don't think she would be surprised so much. I think maybe, maybe she was. Maybe she told herself a story that you wanted it to be over too. So maybe that's the way she was convincing herself in her mind that, since I want it over, he probably wants it over with too. So it's not a bad thing or whatever. And then, you kind of gave her a little dose of reality. I don't know. I can't tell for sure. But, he says, surprised by how much I actually loved her and how much I was prepared to fight for us. Sometimes when people get down about the relationship, that's how they feel, right? They may feel like since I don't care about it, this is the same. He feels the same way, and that may not be necessarily the truth. So, it's good that you try to work on your relationship, or you think like, okay, let's fix it. But most of the time, I don't think that works. I'm the kind of person, and I've always been the kind of person that has said, people don't change who they are. They don't really change who they are until they decide that that change is necessary. So you can't talk a person into changing their mind about something. You really should go with the immediate thought, that they have, or let them go with the immediate emotion and the immediate thought that they have, because that's probably the truest thing. So if she's telling you she doesn't want to be with you anymore, you have to kind of take that and say, okay, I'm not gonna fix that. There's nothing that I can do to change that. You can fall off a building and break your neck, and she's probably not going to want to take care of you. It's just, she'll just look at it as a burden or something that she's got to go through at this point in time, and something that she just doesn't care. Sorry about the siren in the background there. So it's the middle of Copacabana, so it's always going to be traffic and stuff down there. So just not too long ago, there was a girl who I think it was her ex-boyfriend, or maybe the current boyfriend, and maybe he's seeing another chick. I don't know. It's like kind of one of those stories. But she set his apartment on fire or whatever. So that, that was within the last 2 weeks or something. So, hopefully it's not something like that. I don't hear the fire trucks. I think that's just the police. But we'll see. But yeah, man, it's like people don't really change. So you're not really going to change their mind, especially a woman. If she's decided that she wants a divorce and it's her idea, then she's not going to see any reason to work on it. The more you pull at her, the more she's going to pull away. And she's going to try to go away. So she's going to push you away. So like he's saying is like, yeah, they may agree to work on it and all this and see or whatever. She's doing that because she doesn't want to hurt you more than she already is hurting you. She's probably realized that, okay, this is really going to hurt him. I feel a little bit douchey because I did this, to him. And so for me to make it up, I can say that I tried to fix it, to help fix it, even though I'm really not going to work on nothing. And then I can feel better within myself that we tried to work on it, but it didn't work. She knows from the beginning she's not going to do anything to help that process. And nothing's going to change her mind. So I wouldn't pursue it. Honestly, in that situation, I'm not going to pursue it. Like he said, every interaction, he wants more from her, and she's just deliberately holding back. This is the sign. It's a sign that you have to walk away. And I think as men, we have to have that strength to walk away. Something about a woman, when a man's ready to walk away and she's not quite ready for that, or if he's nonchalant about it, or he don't really express a lot of, emotion about it or whatever, and he's just like, okay, cool, I understand what you got to do or whatever, go ahead and do your thing. I'm going to go ahead and live my life or whatever, and I'm going to wish you the best. I'll always love you, but I know that, this is not for us at this point in time. Maybe our chapter is done. So let's go ahead and go with your idea. Sometimes they want to hold on. I look at this Papoose and Remy Ma's situation, right? She cheated on him, put it right in his face, and now everybody knows, right? Have her husband around the guy she's cheating with, all that, right? And it was all good in the beginning, right? But then soon as he gets with Clarissa Shields, all of a sudden she feeling some type of way or whatever. Oh, this is my husband. Well, you're already cheating with another dude, right? You done got him in an altercation with this dude and everything, right? So for real, like now you're jealous of him and you don't want him with her, so he's not supposed to have a life, but you are. This is the talk that we talk about women becoming more masculine and men becoming more feminine. It's like the roles have switched, and it's like they're acting like men. She's acting like a man at this point in time. So, and now it's looking like her situation with old boy is, the dude she was cheating with ain't looking too hot. Ain't looking like that's going to work out. He don't seem like he's a stand-up dude at all. So, to do that in front of, somebody he's around do that with his wife or whatever, he's not that. He's not a person with any type of moral conviction. He's not any type of person that even understands the bro code. Like, you just don't do. That's something that you just don't do. And you know that they famous and they have a certain following and standing in the world, and you're gonna do that publicly with that to gain what? And then like toss her to the side almost basically, and now she's out there by herself, kind of realizing like, oh, this ain't gonna work out with him or whatever, which it wasn't in the first place. She should have knew that, but she did the woman brain thing and thought it was gonna work. and now he's with another girl and she's tripping out about it. So, but he was willing to walk away, like, yo, you did this or whatever like that. You saying this is what you want or whatever. Okay, go do that. I'm gonna go do me. And then it became a problem, right? So that's the issue. That's the issue that you'll find. So it looks like the police is coming back. So this is a one-way too. So I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Does it mean something else crazy is going on? It's like, why is it more police? But this Copacabana is real, so you just never know what's going on, out here. So all I'm gonna say is it sounds like he needs to kind of just walk away from this situation, start working on himself. Make sure that he is taken care of and he's good, because he was taking care of her. Maybe now it's time for you to take time to take care of yourself, right? Maybe you were ignoring yourself and things that you needed for yourself. Start taking care of yourself, right? Do the things that you want to do and forget about her. And if she's really kind of interested or she really has an eye for it or whatever, she'll notice that, okay, he's doing things different. He's working out. He's going out to the bar. He's going out to the restaurants or whatever. He had a date. He's traveling a little bit or whatever. He went here. He went there or whatever. Even if it kills you to go by yourself, go. Because she's going to be able to see it. She's going to be able to see like, oh, snap, maybe this is the person I really liked or whatever. If she's not willing to talk about it, though, and she's not willing to really discuss it with you and really make an effort or whatever, I say let it go. That's straight from the big D. I say you got to let it go. Sometimes chapters of the books end. And I think that's something that people are reluctant to say because they're saying, oh, you should try to fix it. And there's marriage counselors and all these people whose job is to try to put it back together and get people to see it. But if people want to go into the situation with blinders over their eyes and they don't want to actually participate, it's a waste of your time. How many seconds of the day do you get? Everybody get the same amount of seconds in the day. So you're gonna lose your seconds of the day for this person, your hours of the day. You're gonna throw them away thinking about this person and living your life for this person. Nah, you gotta move on. So here's another one. Here's another story. Interesting. This is a chick, Conscious Hyena 6464. It says how to leave the nice guy. All right, so here we go. My husband and I have been together for about 10 years. We have a 7-year-old. If you ask anyone, he is the nicest guy. Our sex life has never been good, but as of late, it's basically non-existent. I don't feel in love anymore. He also has financial issues that lead me to pick up the slack on bills and expenses for our daughter, so I think that it's been wearing on me as well. Is it selfish to leave when it's not that bad, or do I leave and hope to find better? All right, so yeah. They've been together 10 years, right? So she says our sex life has never been good. So it makes me wonder what the sex life was like prior to your marriage. Now, there's some people who are given religious mandates that say that you can't have sex before marriage or whatever. There are people that exist in that, but the majority of people don't. So we're going to assume that they didn't have that mandate. She doesn't say, but there's some times where, it's not, possible to be sure, about sex, but generally people know, what was the sex like before? Like, how often were you having sex? Or was she withholding sex from him in the beginning, right? Maybe in a relationship or whatever, she was withholding it and telling him you got to wait for marriage or whatever like that. And then you get married and you find out that you don't even like the sex that you're having. You don't buy cars without test driving them, right? You typically don't move to another country without going and visiting, right? Or to another city or to another state or whatever. You got to have some kind of idea about what's going on over there before you take yourself there. You don't even move to another neighborhood, without kind of going there, checking it out to see if that's where you want to be at, right? You want to know if you can park your car safely at night on the street. That's important to know. You got to know things. So with this, it's kind of interesting. I find it odd that you're not enjoying sex prior to marriage, and then after marriage, you are expecting it, to be better. That doesn't make any sense. But maybe there was something that was drawing her to him for whatever reason, why she would continue on with the relationship knowing that she's not going to be happy. So, and then she says as of late, it's basically non-existent. So, okay, so I'm concerned about that because it's like, why would she be concerned that you're not having sex at all if you don't enjoy it when you do have it? That's like me saying, like, I don't like liver. I know my mom used to cook liver or whatever. There's a couple things that I really just don't like. I like a lot of food, but that's not one of them. So if I come home and I smell what smells really good and I find out it's liver, like, it's a letdown for me. So it's like, I'm not going to be mad if we don't have it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if I don't like it, I'm not going to be mad I don't have it. But I guess she's figured some is better than none. But that's a big problem. I think that's a big problem on his end or whatever. He got to learn how to, like, rock the boat, because you're not going to make it if your woman wants to be physical with you and you don't know how to put it down in a physical way. You're going to have to be able to have some kind of skill in that area or whatever. Go get some information on it. You might want to talk to your confidant, your advisor, the person that can help you or whatever with that. You know what I'm saying? You might need to go get that information. You might need to talk to somebody who's into sex, maybe works with sex or whatever. I'm not saying go get a prostitute or whatever. I'm saying maybe there's somebody who might be a sex therapist, other people like that. I'm just saying, like, talk to somebody whose world is sex. Find out the things that you're supposed to do, or at least get in the ballpark of the things that you should be doing or whatever. You might surprise her or whatever. So, but no sex is not going to work. That's probably not going to work. They've been married like 10 years or whatever. Let's say they got married at 25. She was 25, 35 years old, 40 years old. A lot of women are raring to go. They want to have that situation. I mean, they had a child 7 years ago, so they're doing something. But, so we don't know how much of this we can take at face value. But she says, I don't feel in love anymore, right? She don't feel like she's in love anymore. And that's a big thing. There's a thing about loving a person, and then there's a thing being in love too. So she's missing that lust factor. I think that's what it is. She's missing the lust factor. She's missing that desire where she just really wants to desire her man. And then on top of that, she says he's got financial issues where he's not able to pay the bills and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like that probably is heavier than what she's saying about the sex. I feel like he started having maybe some financial issues or whatever, or maybe she's noticing like, oh, I'm having to pay this or I'm having to pay that. And now all of a sudden the sex, is the way that she's trying to mask the fact that she's not happy on the financial. Maybe that's what it is. Because he is working, obviously, or whatever. He's got some issues or whatever. She's picking up the slack. It's not saying that she's paying all the bills. She's saying she's picking up the slack on the bills. So that tells me that maybe she kind of is used to him paying for everything, and maybe things didn't work out. Maybe job-wise or something's going on or whatever. Maybe there's some other issues and stuff that are going on that's preventing him from paying everything. And now she has to take some of that responsibility, and she feels like that's not her responsibility or whatever. So we see a lot of that now, and it's like, look, you're a team. Are you a team or you're not? You're on the team or you're not. You're on a basketball team or whatever, and you got one person who just looks at the situation and goes, I'm not playing defense. How you going to win? You need everybody playing defense, right? Or on offense or whatever, you got somebody who's going, stand at half court. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work because somebody's not participating. So yeah, don't leave your teammate out there when it looks like it's they're not doing well, or they're down a little bit, or they sick a little bit or something. Don't leave your teammate out there, whatever. You try to help them. So she says, is it selfish to leave when it's not that bad, or do I leave and hope to find better? In this environment that we're in right now, if you leave, just know that it's going to be an uphill battle because people are something different now. It's the generation that I came from or whatever, is not the generation of now. So if you're looking for people now, even if they're in my generation and they're single and they're looking or whatever, you're not going to have an easy time, because these guys are hip to the situation that's going on and the dating scene and all that stuff, and the tricks that are getting played, and the women that are looking for men to just pay all their bills and all that kind of stuff when they really don't even love them. They're just looking for somebody that's going to pay for stuff. We know about all that stuff, so we're combating that. We're already hip to it, and we're not accepting it like maybe we would have accepted it before. We're like, yo, like, this economy is crazy. You need to help me. And if you're not interested in helping, I can do it all myself and still have the enjoyments that I would have with you. I can still travel. I can get up and get a passport and go out the country. I can go on a cruise. I can do all of this stuff myself. I can go to a restaurant myself. I can go with the boys or whatever, or my peeps or whatever, my friends or whatever. I can have all of that enjoyment without your stress. So we realize that, and as you get older and you kind of step into that older crowd or whatever, dudes are not taking no mess, man. We're not taking nobody's mess. So, you better come correct, and you better be coming trying to assist or whatever. If not, then it's not going to be worth it or whatever. I ain't going to get into the conversation about 50-50 and all that stuff. You guys got to work it out. People got to work that out. But at the same time, all I'm saying is we're not here for somebody who just wants to stick their hand out. You got to be doing something, bringing something to the table. And if you are the table, great, but that don't mean you got to be in my house. Right? You might be the end table. Who said you was the dinner table? You might be the end table. You know what I'm saying? That little or the table sitting by the front door where everybody come in and throw their keys. What table is you? We don't even know. But let's see. We might throw another one in there. We're sitting about 27 minutes, but I got one more, so I'm gonna put that in there. He says, "This is in the divorce Reddit." Nope, that's the one. That's the one we did already, right? Okay, so I guess not. We don't have another one for us today. So I thought I had another one up there or whatever. But it's about almost 30 minutes now, so we in here. So yeah, man. I hope that you enjoyed the show today. I hope you enjoy what you see from the Big D channel. We're having a lot of fun putting this thing on for you or whatever. We needed more people, more views on it or whatever. So put your friends onto it. Like, subscribe to the channel. I think it's important for us to kind of, get this YouTube thing going. And hopefully I'm a cool personality. You think that I'm somebody you want to hang out with for a couple of minutes of your day. But it's the Big D. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Peace.
Can a man make mistakes? Is he eligible for redemption? Will it really hurt your spirit to make this one exception? If I did you wrong, am I wrong for doing you wrong? If we get back on and make a promise to get along, would you take me back? My bad, I'm back. Would you take me back? My bad, I'm back.